wasn't really a fair fight. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain. Ballet's villains, powerful sorceresses, demonic forces, and no shortage of suspicious men in capes. If you've ever sat in a ballet and watched the villain on the stage and thought, wonder who they could beat in a fight.
We all know you have.
Then look no further, because this is exactly the video that you're looking for.
That's right, you guys. For today's video, we have gathered some of the most notorious ballet villains, and we are throwing them headlong into the ring against each other in the ultimate ballet villain fight club. Could the traitorous pirate Burbanto take down the ghost queen Mirta? And honestly, would anyone really stand a chance against the immortal sorcerer Kochkai? We are going to be answering all of the very, very important questions that literally nobody asked for. But everyone needs to know.
Yeah, everyone needs to know.
You need to know.
We're hyped,
yes.
And if y'all are hyped, then make sure you hit the like button and let's go see who survives the ultimate ballet villain fight club. All right, you guys, so we have 12 very evil ballet villains here today,
yes.
And we're going to weed them out round by round.
It's kind of like the costume showdown series.
Oh yeah, kind of, yeah.
Somewhat like that.
And in the preliminary round, we're gonna narrow them down from 12 to 6.
Yes.
And in the semifinal round, we're going to narrow them down from 6 to 3. Out of those 3, we're gonna imagine that the 3 of them are in the ring together.
Yes.
If they all 3 were just let loose to do whatever they do, who would be the one lone survivor?
Exactly. So let's be going with the preliminary round. We have our 12.
And our first comparison of the day is Claude Frollo from La Esmeralda versus the Mouse King from the Nutcracker. This is already so unserious. What?
So stupid.
Wait, okay.
But we need to know who comes out on top.
Seriously though, who would win? At first glance, I was going to say Claude Frollo because obviously he's human size.
Yeah.
And the Mouse King's obviously mouse size.
Right.
In Nutcracker, he looks huge,
The
but
tree,
Clara shrinks.
Yeah, Clara shrinks to mouse size. So technically Claude Frollo could squish him with a foot.
Also, the Mouse King's not very sturdy. Like, Clara kind of just threw her slipper at him and then he dies.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, sometimes he gets stabbed.
He gets stabbed by the prince, obviously,
Yeah.
but he's very easily distracted, I think.
But also, I feel like the sheer fact that the Mouse King has an army, do you think the Mouse King plus his army of mice could take down one Claude Frollo?
Right, and in some versions, the Mouse King actually has 7 heads.
Oh,
So
you're right.
I wonder if more brains equals more power.
Okay, does 7 mouse brains equal 1 human brain?
I don't know.
Okay, 7-headed Mouse King plus his army.
Claude
Would that be
Frollo.
enough to take down Claude Frollo? Because I feel like Claude Frollo, yes, he's evil, but like he doesn't have like magical powers.
Let's talk about Claude Frollo for a second, because I know he's kind of like a more obscure ballet character. So if you don't know Claude Frollo, he's from La Esmeralda, and he's a priest, I guess. In the ballet, he ends up stabbing the guy and blaming her, and then she has to, you know.
Because he's obsessed with her.
Yeah,
and he
it's-
keeps forcing himself on her. And
It's a
like,
mess.
He's like such an evil guy. Like
He's
literally
so evil to the core. Like, honestly, his guts are evil. I think the issue with Claude Frollo is that he looks like unassuming. I think he keeps all of his like evilness very like covert, like
yeah,
really, really hidden.
He's like a hypocrite.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Like 100%.
100%.
I think if you pit Claude Frollo against another human,
Yeah.
I feel like Claude Frollo would be able to kind of scheme and like undercut and backstab his way.
I think
and
he
like
could.
frame people.
Yeah.
But I feel like against a mouse, I feel like Claude Frollo would get skittish.
I think he would get jumpy.
Jump. I feel like the Mouse King would like just by sheer strength and speed,
Just his aura, with confidence alone.
and like panache.
Yeah.
Sheer panache. I feel like Claude Frollo would get intimidated. And also just like the Mouse King is quite agile.
I think
for
so,
a mouse.
yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Claude Frollo is a bit older.
Yeah, he's not nimble.
I don't think he
either.
moves fast. So I
Yeah,
feel like
no.
the Mouse King could easily just like jump him and like boom.
I agree, and I don't think Claude Frollo ever really. Okay, he stabbed the guy, but like he didn't do things by himself. He gets other people to do the thing
and like
for him.
yeah.
So he's better at like just the scheme work. But if you were to let them loose in a ring, honestly, I think the Mouse King would win.
Yeah, even without the army, just just Mouse King and his sword and his little mousy teeth.
Yeah, I think Mouse King would win this round. So let's move Mouse King forward
Yeah.
into the next round.
I agree. Oh, okay, we have Inigo from the ballet Paquita
Yes.
versus everyone's favorite iconic sorcerer
Rothbart.
from the ballet Swan Lake. Okay, so to be honest, this one's not even a question.
This one's not a question
Why
at all.
would you pit the most powerful sorcerer against a mere human man?
This is a little unfair.
Honestly, I feel bad for Inigo. at
Yeah,
this point.
Inigo, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
If you don't know Inigo from Paquita,
He's like Paquita's
like guardian,
sort of,
but he's also the one who kidnapped her
as a child.
as
yeah.
a child. So she was originally a princess, and then Inigo came and captured her away from her family and raised her with the rest of the travelers, and so raised her as like a regular peasant girl. So he's like her guardian.
She thinks
thinks
he's
that
like
he's
a
her-
father figure
yeah.
to her,
But he's kind of obsessed with her, and like in a weird way.
yeah, it's a weird way.
It's a
And then
very weird relationship. It's just creepy.
It is a little twisted,
It's
but
creepy.
He does keep sidearms on him. He has a dagger with him all the time. He's a pretty violent person. But that being said, compared to Rothbard, the sorcerer, the issue is one's on the immortal plane and one's on the mortal plane.
Do you think that like a mere gunshot and a dagger would stand a chance against dark magic? It
Yes.
depends who got the first strike.
Yeah, who got the first strike? It is possible to kill Rothbard.
And in the end, sometimes he like tears off his wing.
Yeah,
and
sometimes he
dies.
does. But that being said, Rothbard has a little bit of an advantage with like the whole dark magic thing.
He could easily just cast a spell over Inigo and then like boom,
Yeah, just
get him.
he's just gone.
I feel like Rothbart would just
Obliterate him.
Yeah,
Let's
okay.
move Rothbart to the next round. Sorry, Inigo, this was totally unfair.
yeah. This wasn't really a fair fight.
Oh, let's go. This one's gonna be fun. Okay, we have the Queen of Hearts from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and the High Brahmin from La Bayadere.
I love this actually. Wait,
This
hold
is-
up. If you don't know the Queen of Hearts, she's sort of just this maniacal, very volatile, very angry, very crazy domineering lady.
Yeah.
And then we have the Brahmin who's
I think he's very prideful.
Yeah,
he has a
he's prideful.
humongous ego, and he's again obsessed.
obsessed with Nikki.
All of our antagonists are like this.
This is what makes them antagonists.
Yeah, I guess
Don't be
so.
obsessed with people, you guys.
Yeah, just don't do
Yeah.
it. But that being said,
I think in terms of like who's more evil, I mean the queen beheads people for fun.
I think the thing that makes the Queen of Hearts dangerous is just her spontaneous, unpredictable
Violence.
The Brahmin is a lot more controlled, a lot more restrained, but at the same time, he has like a lot more thought going into it.
Yes, yes.
Not
yes,
that his
you're right.
plans always go the way he thinks, but he does put a little more thought into it than the Queen of Hearts, who's just like whipping heads off like it's no big deal.
Here's how I see this playing out. Like the Brahmin in the ballet La Bayadere, yes, he has a lot of power, and the way he uses his evilness is like through manipulating his authority
Yeah.
and his place as the High Brahmin in the temple to manipulate and to destroy
his way.
people's lives and get his way. But I feel like out of that context, he's powerless. Like he's just another man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He kind of is.
If you put him in the ring with the Queen of
The Queen of Hearts would just like lop his
I
head
feel like
off.
she would just bite him.
He wouldn't stand a chance, I don't think.
Yes, he's conniving. Yes, he's evil. Very, very much so.
Yeah, he is.
But in like a hand-to-hand physical
Queen of Hearts by like a long shot.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
I mean, she has 4 cards that are partnering her. They're terrified of her.
They're shaking like leaves.
The King of Hearts himself is terrified of her.
Everyone on the stage, when she's on stage with them,
They're
are
all, like-
shaking
Yeah.
in fear. I think the Brahmin is highly revered, and under that sort of pretense, that's where he kind of rules. The Queen of Hearts wouldn't respect him, and she is
Yeah.
not just revered, she is feared.
Exactly.
Highly feared.
She wouldn't even acknowledge his status as
No.
the High Brahmin. She'd be like,
I've done worse
Yeah,
to hire
yeah.
people, so you're nothing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so I think, honestly, in this comparison, we'd have to put the Queen of Hearts forward into the next round just because of her.
Yeah,
Just
just-
the violence of her, I think.
if you haven't seen our commentary on the Queen of Hearts that we did ages and ages and ages and ages and ages ago,
Yes.
go watch it.
Go watch it. It's hysterical. But anyway, she will move forward into the next round. Let's keep going.
Okay. Oh, next we have 2 very old against very old.
Let's go.
We have the old witch Madge from La Sylphide versus the immortal soul Kochkai from the ballet The Firebird.
I believe our Firebird analysis just went out.
Ooh.
It's there, linked above and below for you to watch later. But for now, I think these are both kind of equal because they both have that magic, that really dark witchy magic sorcerer or sorceress sort of thing going on.
Although Madge is actually a woman, like an actual human woman.
But she's a witch.
She is a very powerful witch, though.
Yeah. Hachkai the Immortal he's more of a demon than he is a man. And he's obviously deathless and completely immortal. So
I feel like that alone marks him as the winner of this round, to be honest.
like
I feel like Hachkai's magic is more powerful than Madge's. And she can like tell the future and stuff. She would know whether or not to get into the ring with Katja because she can foresee the future if she knows that.
She'd probably be able to predict every single move and know how to counter it before he gets to it. But he's deathless. So no matter how she counters him, he can't die unless she gets to the egg.
But the thing is, she would know to get to the egg because she has like the prophecy kind of like mind reading, future telling, whatever.
True. Okay, but what if the egg was not in the ring? He wouldn't bring his egg to the fight. So technically she doesn't have access to his soul, right?
That's not fair though, because then he would just be like, oh yeah, I'm obviously deathless. She would have to leave the ring. Maybe she would fake resign, go find the egg, and then he would just be like, I won in the middle of the ring, and then boom.
Ooh, but Kachai and his minions.
Oh, and the minions. Oh no, yeah, then they win immediately. I'm going with Kachkai.
I think I have to go with Kachai. Just by a little bit.
Yeah.
One, because he's obviously immortal. Two, I think his power might be just a little bit.
It's more violent.
Yeah, Kachai's probably gonna win this round.
Kachkai.
Let's move him forward.
Sounds good.
Onward.
Oh, okay, another very obscure villain, Abdurrahman from Raymonda.
Yes.
Versus Carabas from The Sleeping Beauty.
A brief anecdote, Christy McNally is the best Carabas in the whole world.
She has like my whole heart and my soul, like genuinely.
I watched that scene unironically just because she is perfect in this role. Anyway,
I was going to say, obviously Carabas would win because she's an enchantress, right? Yes. And Abdurrahman, while powerful, while very strong.
And very violent.
He's still a mere man. But also Prince Desiree was able to take down Carabas with just a big sword, right?
Okay, well there was a prophecy involved.
Oh right, so he had the prophecy on his side.
He had a lilac fairy on his side. So yeah, technically it was a lilac fairy.
It was just to fulfill the prophecy. That's the only reason why he prevailed.
That's the only reason why he won. But he doesn't have the lilac fairy, so he probably won't win.
You're right. I don't think he has a lilac fairy on his side to give him a favorable prophecy.
I don't think he does. So I think his likelihood of doing so would probably be 0 or less.
Yeah. To be honest though, Carabas is amazing.
I mean, look at her. She is absolutely gorgeous.
What a way to go.
She is
Not even lying.
She
She would obliterate him in a single sentence.
in a second. Unfair fight, to be honest. But yeah, Carabas would definitely win this
Yeah, because
round.
the only one who could counter Carabas was the Lilac Fairy herself.
That's how powerful Carabas is.
Yeah.
Like, in the fairy ecosystem, like, she's like top rank. Let's move on.
Carabas
wins.
Final one for this round, you guys, and we got Myrta from Giselle versus Birbanto from Le Corsaire.
Also unfair, you
Also
guys.
an unfair fight. We have to stop putting our powerful, ethereal women with mortal men.
Yeah.
We know how this goes.
We have our man-killing ghost queen versus a man. Who do you think will win? We don't even need to talk here.
Yeah, no.
Birbanto is a very violent person. Again, he's very good with swords and knives and sidearms and things like that.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing. He's a traitor.
He is a
Birbanto's a traitor. And you know the kind of men that Myrta targets?
traitors.
So she'd be in here. It'd finish before it started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would finish before it started.
He wouldn't even have to look at her. He'd just be like, I'm out. I'm dead.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? You win.
Yeah, he would just fall over and die.
Yeah, he would.
Although that being said, the fight would have to take place between dusk and dawn. Because if they fought at 3 a.m. and the fight went till 6, then
no, Myrta would just fade.
Myrta would fade out and Birbanto would win. You know what I mean?
So it has to be strategically timed.
For Myrta's schedule.
Yeah, Myrta's schedule only because she will dissolve when the morning light comes.
So if Birbanto can hang on, if he can last all night.
If he could, but that's a big if, and that's only if he had someone like Giselle interceding for him.
And he doesn't.
And he doesn't because he's a traitor. So sorry, Birbanto.
And Conrad is not as forgiving as...
No, neither is Ali. No one's coming for your rescue, man. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Myrta wins this round.
For sure.
Of course.
Without question.
Without question. And this concludes our preliminary round for the Ultimate Ballet Villain Fight Club. We have our winners, the Mouse King, Rothbart, the Queen of Hearts, Kachkai the Immortal, Karabas, and Myrta. All 6 of them will proceed into the semi-final round. Catch your breath and get a sip of water or tea or something because you need to stay hydrated. Fight clubs are
Intense.
We'll be back. Welcome back to the semi-final round, everybody. We have our 6 preliminary winners, and then we're going to narrow them down to our final 3. So let's get going. Our first comparison is the Mouse King against Rothbart.
Oh.
It's the bat/owl against the rat, and in just like the regular animal kingdom, the owls eat rats. So I think even on a natural, non-magical, even non-human scale, I think that Rothbart is the clear winner here.
I forgot. Owls literally
eat mice. So this one's honestly the no-brainer, and just like generally magic and power and skittishness.
Yeah.
If you take that all into account, Rothbart is the clear winner here.
Yes.
Mouse King was taken out by a little girl in a shoe.
Yeah.
And Rothbart was barely taken out, and sometimes he even wins.
Yeah,
so
that's true,
the answer is very clear here.
Yeah.
Rothbart will be moving on to the next round.
Yeah, owl pellet with a tiny gold crown. I'm sorry, cut that.
That was the most disturbing visual. Thank you so much for your additions there. That was very, wow, okay.
That was so morbid.
You see what I have to deal with, you guys? Sorry. You're not, but I appreciate you saying it.
Owl pellets are cool.
No, they're not. Anyway, no-brainer. Rothbart will proceed to, our final contestant.
Our final 3. All right, congrats, Rothbart.
Moving on to, oh dear, we have the Queen of Hearts and Kashai the Immortal.
Oh my god, I feel like just because of the fact that Kashkai is deathless, I feel like that kind of already gives him the upper hand.
I know, but she's just so violent.
Right.
And unpredictable.
She is.
You couldn't do anything.
Yeah, but you
That's the
can't
thing.
off with your head Kashkai.
No, because he'll just like come back to
he
life.
would just reassemble. Like the Mario ones.
That's exactly how it would happen.
He would just reassemble.
You can't off with your head with Kachkai. You just couldn't. So,
But Kachkai could destroy her. Yeah, no. Kachkai would win
this one.
That's too bad. I was kind of rooting for the Queen of Hearts.
I know, me too.
Just, I love her chaotic energy. But I really do think if it came down to it, Kachkai would win. Would she ever be able to get her hand on the egg?
No, she's too chaotic.
Yeah, I just don't think she would be scheming like that.
She's not a schemer. She just acts.
She's not a big picture thinker. She's
No.
like a...
Just in the moment, how can I just take you apart?
Yeah, like pure unbridled rage. How can I
exactly.
dismantle you? Kachkai would win this one.
Yeah. Although that is a very funny
Visual.
imagery. Kachkai will move forward into the final round.
Fittingly, honestly.
Yeah, fittingly.
Final comparison of our semifinal round, we
go.
have...
Stop.
No.
No.
That's
no,
like
no, no.
asking to choose between parents. Our amazing evil enchantress versus our man-killing ghost queen.
I'm sorry.
Who would win?
Who would win here?
No.
Let's look at the facts.
Okay, no. But I honestly feel like if they were not in a fight together, they'd actually be besties.
Oh, no, they wouldn't. I mean, Myrta would have curfew, but like reverse
True.
curfew.
Reverse curfew.
Maybe that gives Karabas the upper hand, though. And also, Myrta, she didn't care about killing girls. She wants to kill men.
That's true.
So
Myrta would just fold.
Yeah, Myrta would just be like, I
like-
love you, girly.
Yeah. Okay, but here's the thing. As a technical note, how could you defeat Myrta because she's already dead?
True.
I didn't think about this.
She's already dead. So she's technically already
lost?
Lost or won? Either. I can't tell.
Wait, yeah, how does one defeat Myrta?
How do you kill someone who's already dead?
How do you kill a ghost queen? You just survive the ghost queen.
Yeah, you just survive.
You just survive.
But she wouldn't do anything to Karabas.
Yeah, that's true.
Myrta would just stand there like this and just look at her.
Also, because Karabas would not curse anybody unless they crossed her. And Myrta wouldn't cross Karabas.
Yeah.
So thereby, Karabas wouldn't even feel a need to fight Myrta. They would literally just stand in the ring,
there
make
until-
very intense eye contact.
Until Myrta dissolves and goes back to her grave.
So I guess just by default, Karabas would win.
I really don't either. Yeah, I don't think they would fight each other, to be honest, because they have nothing to.
They have no beef
about.
with each other. Yeah, so I feel like Karabas would win, but they'd part amicably.
Yeah, exactly.
And with mutual admiration on both sides.
I think so. So it's not that they fought, it's just like by default.
By default, because they ran out of time. then
then Carabas
win.
would just win.
We've cracked the
Cracked the code. Carabas will now move on to the final round, which is happening in just a moment, so stay tuned.
Alright, you guys, final round. Let's go.
Let's go.
We have our 3 final winners being released into the ring as we speak.
Oh
we
my
have
gosh.
from Swan Lake, the evil sorcerer Rothbart. From the Firebird, we have Kochkai, the Deathless. And from the Sleeping Beauty, we have our evil enchantress, Carabas. Who is going to win, you guys?
These are all, I think, very well matched because A, they're all on the immortal / ethereal plane. And so I
dark
think
magic
this is kind of a fair fight in that regard. And I think they all kind of have their own sort of like advantage to them.
Okay, wait, hold up. Let's play out.
Yeah.
If we release them all into the ring, what would happen? Kochkai would immediately try to turn the 2 of them into stone.
Probably.
Rothbart would probably try to turn them into animals.
And then Carabas would probably send them into a 100-year sleep.
Yeah, no, she would stab them with a spindle.
Or that. She's crafty. Like I feel like
Or she'd be like, gentlemen, let's not fight.
yeah, let's make thread. And then win. Kochkai is already susceptible to sleep in the ballet.
Right.
That's a detail.
The Firebird puts him to
The
sleep.
Firebird puts him to sleep. So you already know that is sort of an entry point.
That is an
And that
entry
doesn't mean
point.
you will kill him,
But you
can
can put
make him
him to
fall asleep.
Enough to get the egg.
Here's the other thing though. Kochkai is also able to be overpowered by birds. And Rothbart himself is most often portrayed as an owl or a bird.
Right, so
So
if it were a magical bird,
that combined with Carabas's sleep spell,
they could probably
take out Kochkai at least temporarily enough to
get to the egg.
possibly. They just happen to have the exact power to take out Kochkai. At least get him to, sleep, sedate him in order to count him out as off.
Okay, so
I did not think that Kochkai would be the first one out, but maybe he is. Maybe he is.
Assuming they all use their powers at the exact same time.
Maybe that'd be enough. Maybe Kochkai would be the first one out. I did not expect this at all.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit
The Deathless has met death.
enough to count him out. Like I think if you're on the mat for a certain amount of seconds,
Yeah, that's
then
true,
like
that's
you're
true,
out.
you're
So
out.
like
Enough to count him out.
they could get him out. That is shocking.
Okay, so Kochkai's our 3rd placer.
Rothbart,
And Carabas are our remaining.
who would win here? I wonder if Rothbart would turn Carabas into a swan. I know he said he wouldn't and probably
She would be able to counter it.
She would counter it,
She'd be able
right?
to
She would be able to see it coming and then
Yeah.
probably
Would her curses work on him though? If she stabbed him with a spindle or something? He wouldn't let her
No,
get close
because
enough. He'd be able to fly and
Yeah, he could
dodge her.
fly. I was gonna say something about the fact that she has little rat minions, but I was like, oh wait, he's an owl.
Again!
So maybe
Owl pellets!
everywhere. So it doesn't matter how many rats she brings to the fist fight. It would be
Right.
Rothbart would just dismantle everybody.
Yeah. And then he could get stronger
Possibly
from eating them. So I'm starting to think maybe Rothbart would win.
Something's making me say that too, but I'm trying to think because
Like objectively who?
they're both fabulous in their own way. They both play disguises. They both
Yeah.
deceive people. They both curse people. And so I feel like, in a lot of ways, they're very,
Very compatible.
Very compatible.
Yeah, very equal.
Like they're kind of at the top of like the evil.
Yeah, top of the evil sorcerer
food chain,
game.
Yeah. Both of them are from Tchaikovsky ballet.
I am both of them, right?
and
Swan
both,
Lake
of them, both of them
Sleeping
have incredible music. I love Carabas's scene, that whole scene.
Oh
with
my
Carabas.
god, yeah. Would Odile have anything to do with this? He wouldn't get Odile involved, right?
Yeah, Odile's a puppet. She's willing, but like
Yeah.
ultimately she's
It's not her game, it's Rothbart's
Yeah,
game.
it's Rothbart's game. She's just the pawn.
Carabas could be overpowered by the Lilac Fairy.
Yeah.
Tells me that perhaps she's not as high ranking as Rothbart might be. But then again, they're in different universes, so you can't tell what like the magic ecosystem is like in Swan Lake versus Sleeping Beauty. Maybe Rothbart's so strong in Swan Lake, but like compared to the other fairies, he's just kind of like
he's not.
he's not high ranking. How does he kill Siegfried? Like in the versions of Swan Lake that he does win.
Some versions, Siegfried just drowns trying to get to Odette, and sometimes he will like
Fight him.
strike him with his magical power and kill him.
Oh, Oh, so he could just fight with a single blow.
100%. No, he does, and he can. In other versions, Siegfried just dies of a broken heart.
Right.
Or commits suicide.
Sometimes he just fights him to exhaustion.
Maybe Rothbart would win just because in some ballets he does win. There is no version of Sleeping Beauty where Caraboss wins. Caraboss is always defeated.
You're
no matter
right.
what. That makes me think that Rothbart does have
Potential
an
to be-
advantage, but I just need to figure out what exactly it is.
Why is it that Rothbart can defeat? Is it just because he's going up against humans? Maybe he's just a coward.
Maybe. But humans are powerful in their own right, you know?
That's true. The power of true love, etc.
True love. Both of them were defeated by true love.
But sometimes,
But sometimes Rothbart isn't.
so he's immune to true love. Although in a villain fight, there's not a lot of true love happening.
Exactly. So like if you drop them in a ring together,
Yeah.
there's absolutely no true love in the picture. So who would actually come out on top? It's up to the hierarchy, I suppose.
Oh, you know what? I think Rothbart is higher ranking in power. Do you know why?
Why?
Because even after death, his spell would still hold. Because Odette tells him, don't kill Rothbart,
Oh,
because if you kill him, then the spell will
spell
just
locks.
So his spell will
maybe
last
that.
after death.
That's true.
So I'm guessing higher ranking
higher ranking
would be Rothbart, just
by
a little bit.
this much.
Honestly, if Caraboss got to him first, if she made the first strike,
Yeah.
she could take him down. But if they shot at the same time,
Yeah, which they
Rothbart would
probably
overpower
would.
him. Just
Literally this
yeah,
much.
marginally. And even if he did die, if his power hit her, it would still stand, even after he died. So then they'd both be down. So then it would force a draw. So I feel like Rothbart, in that kind of way, in a way, he'd kind of win.
Even in death, he would win.
That's honestly fitting, though. Swan
It is
Lake, the
fitting.
top ballet of all time. Would he be our final winner when all the dust settles and the magic smokes finally clears?
Maybe. I honestly can see Rothbart standing in the ring alone.
Alone, yeah.
I think we have our official winner.
We have our lone survivor after
survivor.
the ultimate ballet villain Hunger Games.
Oh my god. This was hard.
This was difficult.
I really didn't think Kochkai would be out first.
I know.
I'm still shocked by that. But it totally makes sense.
In our third place, we
Yeah.
have the immortal Kochkai the Deathless. Our second place runner-up, we have the evil sorceress Caraboss from the Sleeping Beauty.
Yes.
And standing alone in the ring,
by this much?
by just as much, probably badly wounded, surrounded by owl pellets. The one, the only, Swan Lake antagonist, Rothbart. Well deserved, honestly.
I think with everything considered,
Everything considered.
Rothbart is probably subjectively the most likely to survive this fight. And honestly, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
The ultimate classical ballet, Swan Lake, Rothbart. Gotta hand it to
Gotta
him.
hand it to him.
Gotta hand it to him.
Congratulations, Rothbart.
Congratulations, Rothbart.
You are honestly iconic.
honestly.
It was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Bonus round, you guys. You thought we
Bonus.
were done.
We're never done.
We never finish until we finish. So we have the ultimate showdown.
Yes.
That nobody asked for, but everybody needs. We are not going to come to a complete conclusion on this one because this one is up to you guys to determine who would win.
Yes.
All right. And this ultimate showdown is obviously the age-old question.
Yes.
Could Rothbart beat Jemima Puddle Duck? We are not going to give you guys a clear answer on this one because we are asking you to go ham in the comment section underneath this video.
Yes.
And we want you to write out in long, expressive, stunning detail
Yes.
how you think this fight would go.
Give us stats, give us probabilities,
Yes.
give us everything you guys got.
Headcanons,
Exactly.
theories.
We'll give you guys one. Jemima Puddle Duck is already a duck, so she is immune to being turned into a waterfowl because she already is one.
That is already turning the tables in a direction.
In a direction.
It is already
so,
tipping the scales in a direction.
so there you go. We just helped you guys out a little bit.
Yeah.
But go ham in the comments. We cannot wait to read them.
We are looking forward to reading stunning play-by-play depictions of exactly what you think would go on if Rothbart went head-to-head with the Chaos Menace herself, Jemima Puddle Duck. This is your assignment, you guys.
Yes.
Your writing assignment. We will see you there.
Alright, there you have it, everybody. That was the ultimate ballet villain fight club. Hopefully
Yes.
you enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of goofy, kind of like ridiculous, but honestly, this was a very necessary video because it was a question we all needed to answer. So make sure you tap the like button if you enjoyed it.
If you like seeing us compare things and you want to see more, we have another comparison series, the Ultimate Ballet Costume Showdown.
Yes.
Where we compare different ballet costumes against each other to find which one is our favorite. That series is a favorite of y'all's, so it will be all linked above and below in a beautiful, tidy little playlist just for you.
If you like videos like these and you want to see more of them, then make sure you tap the subscribe button so you don't miss when we come out with new ones, because there will be a lot more coming your way very soon.
And also we want to say a huge thank you to all of the patrons on our Patreon who made today's video possible.
Thank you so much.
It's because of you guys that we are able to do what we do here on YouTube. So if you have not become a patron yet and you would like to help ensure that we're able to keep ballet nerding with you guys, the link will be down in our description, or you can visit patreon.com/balletrain to become a patron and keep the ballet nerd world spinning. Anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off. Until the next video.
Bye. Eden is upping the AC because apparently she is hot. I think it is a little bit chilly, but we can never agree on these sort of things. It's already on. I know it is. I tried to tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
Now it's you. This is very out of character. We like switched roles for a second. Now it's you doing the dumb stuff and me trying to focus. Because usually it's the other way around.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Very fitting for today's video, actually, you guys.
Some of the most notorious ballet villains, oh my god.
Villains? Civilians? We could throw the civilians in a fight club too, I guess. Some of the most notorious ballet villains. Villains. I can't speak. Neither of us can speak. Who has the brain cell? You were supposed to bring the brain cell. Mom says it's my turn with the brain cell.
My dog ate
My dog My dog ate the collective brain cell that we're supposed to be splitting.
I think I'm overtired, so I feel like kind of hyperactive, you know, like when you're...
Yeah, like when you're too tired, then you start being loopy.
Yeah.
You're not yourself when you're tired.
Yeah.
You're not yourself when you're hungry either.
Yeah.
Isn't that like which candy bar is like that? The one that says you're not yourself when you're hungry.
Sorry, what?
Is that Snickers? There's like an advertisement where it's like you're not you when you're hungry.
I don't know. Sorry. I feel like I should know this. You're not yourself when you're hungry.
This is mandatory education.